Hey folks, and welcome to a reading wrap-up, where I show you all the books I read in the, cars. Oh, some angry drivers. The books I read in the last 3 months or so, something like that. So, let's get started. I think this was the first one I finished, but again, these will probably be out of order. So this is a Spящая красавица. Sleeping Beauty in Russian. That is a children's book. You'll see some of my childhood books in here. I've decided to learn how to read in Russian because I never did. When I was about 4, I did know the ABCs of Russian, but I never continued because when we came here, I was learning Hebrew in kindergarten. I decided recently, my grandma also told me for years, why don't you learn to read? So recently I decided that yes, I definitely should. So I started reading. It's going okay, but it's quite hard. So this is, you can see, really, it was really fun looking at all these again. This time I can read them, because when I was a kid, and I looked through these, I couldn't read them. I love how in this book none of the ladies have any boobs. I know it's a weird thing to think about, but I just thought of how flat-chested all the characters are. The lady characters. I mean, it doesn't matter, really. Jeez Louise. Yeah, we got some pissy drivers here. Yeah, so there we go. I do love this art style, though. It was interesting to reread this. Very difficult, too. Alright, next we have, is Сказки. Or tales, fairy tales. Not exactly fairy tales, but tales by, Kulchin. His surname's a bit, difficult. Yeah, this is stuff my dad read me when I was a kid. Look how huge this book is, too. I did do a video 2 years ago almost where I showed all my Russian books. Never thought I would read them, though. Hey, look at this art. It's so cute. It's so fun looking through these and actually reading them. I will need to reread these again later on. Well, not later on, but, I'm gonna take some, I'm gonna read them, and then I'm gonna reread them, because there are words where I didn't fully understand and didn't read right. So I'll have to get back. Alright, now we move on to English. That's all the Russian for now. Isle of the Dark by Irina Brown. Some of you might have watched our live streams, either on my channel or Mr. Gray's, where we read Irina Brown's book. I've been hearing about it for a whole of last year, even before that, even in 2019, I might have heard of it as well. At the end, maybe, I'm not sure, but yeah, there it is. So I finally bought me a copy. Had to do it on Amazon, couldn't do it on Rena's site, unfortunately. But I finally read it and I enjoyed it a lot. Together with Mr. Gray, we did that. It was quite fun. Not quite, it was fun. I had a blast. We're gonna read Isle of Winternox as well, but we'll do that on Christmas together. And now we're reading Cthulhu. Check out our Cthulhu streams. They're on Mr. Gray's, not Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft streams on Mr. Gray's channel. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I'm gonna donate this copy to our library, so there's one in Israel as well. I'm gonna buy a new one from Rena, signed this time. Next, I read The Queen's Gambit by Walter Thieves. I think some of you probably heard of the Netflix show. Now, this has been a very good read, a very interesting story. I did try making a thoughts video about this one, but I tried filming it every time. I didn't know what to say. I felt like I was saying too much the information, or I sounded confused in my own ears. So I was like, you know what, never mind. But still, I did enjoy this one. I won't be watching the show, though. I don't have Netflix and I can't be bothered. Also, something I mentioned in the thoughts video, since that doesn't exist, check out the cover. Now, this is the Netflix cover. I hate these type of covers. I much prefer it when it's not this, because holy shit, her gaze is frightening. Look at that, she's gonna eat me. But what I did notice was that there were alcohol in pill bottles instead of chess pieces. So that's quite neat, quite a neat thing that they did. If you read the story or watched the show, you probably know why. I won't spoil it. But yeah, it was a good book. Good book. I don't think I'll be rereading it again, though. I think it was a one and done for me. I read it once. I don't have a need to reread it again at all. Even though it was a very good story. He has other books I want to check out now. So I will in the future. And last but by no means least, we have the Wizard of Oz by Lady Bird. Favorite tales. This is the Lady Bird version of the Wizard of Oz. It's obviously been very shortened and things have been changed. But still, I enjoyed reading. It was very cute. I did dig these Lady Bird books. My friend had it, and I asked if he was selling it. I asked him a while back, and now recently I bought it from him because I wanted to have another one. It's very cute. And well, here I can show you something currently reading because I have something close by. I'm currently reading The Dark Tower, The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Technically, not reading, rereading it. Rereading it. I did read this once when I was 19. No. How old was I? For some reason I remember I was not 19. Anyway, I read it a few. I know I was thinking of a different book. I read it a few years ago, and it was so fucking boring. I remembered struggling through it just to get it done. Oh, it was so dull, and you think it wouldn't be, because it's you got this whole world and everything, but it's so fucking boring. But still, it is a series I do want to read. I kind of feel like it's a mission from childhood. What I mean by that is already years ago, now, me and Dad were, there's this one hospital I would go to regularly, and I would go there in the bookstore. There's a mall nearby. And one time there, I bought I think the 8th book, maybe the 8th or 7th book of the series. And I remember opening and I was so fucking confused in the first page. I was like, what the hell's going on? I was dumbfounded. I don't have that book anymore. I don't even remember where it went, what happened to it. I think maybe because of that, I'm determined to finish this series. This is a borrowed copy I got from my friend. I had the first one, but I traded it for my Philip K. Dick book that I have, The Minority Report. I traded that for The Gunslinger. So I'm on page 179. I've been doing the method suggested by Mr. Paul, or Yankee Southerner Reads. And I'm reading 30 pages a day to get through it, and even those 30 pages are hard. Every time I read it, it almost puts me to sleep. I just get sleepy after it. Now again, it's not a boring story. I mean, the idea sounds interesting, but it's just, I don't know what it is. The execution bores me. But anyway, I'm getting through it, I think, by next week. Or maybe even, no, probably not. By next week, I'll finish it. And then I'll later move on. I have the second one. I bought the second one. There was a time where I went to the store, the bookstore last year, and all of them were here, the whole series. But since then, it's disappeared. I was told that, yeah, the series appears at times, and then everyone buys it off, and then disappears again. I was like, oh. So it looks like it's still a hot commodity. This is, you can see this is the movie cover. I fucking hate movie covers. Fuck them. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just here to read it. I was told the movie was boring as well. I don't know. I'll definitely not be watching the movie. Oh, the book does have some water damage a bit on sticking pages. Which is quite funny considering a lot of the story, or the story does begin in the desert. But yeah, that's it. And of course, I'm reading the Cthulhu. I won't pull it out. It's under some stuff. Alright, yeah, and that's basically it. That's all I've read, and that's what I'll be reading. You'll see this book in the White Egg Strap Up. Alright, folks, so that is it. Let me know what you've read, or what you're currently reading. Did you read any of these? Do you like them? And that's it. Until next time, remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!